I'm curious, like, how completely wrong we all were.
Oh, it's gonna be so great. It's gonna be so great.
I can't wait
Okay.
to see it.
But that's how archaeology works. Is that like you
Yeah.
make your interpretation and you know that if anyone tells you different, they're lying. They're lying
Yeah.
to themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell people never trust an archaeologist that speaks in absolutes because it's true.
Hello, this is Harold Halfton, and welcome to the Minecraft Archaeology Challenge miniseries. I'm a former archaeologist who enjoys playing Minecraft, and in this miniseries, MC Oda, MillyCraft, and I are competing to independently excavate a custom archaeological site created by Daskalos, who's another YouTuber and a working archaeologist. Okay, with that little intro out of the way, enjoy the episode where we get to see the site that Daskalos created and see how he graded each of our recreations.
Okay, so I'm to understand you all are done?
Yeah.
Yep, all done.
Yep.
Excellent.
done.
And you're ready to get graded?
No.
Yeah,
But yes.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
grades.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, then I will take one of you.
Oh,
It-
I guess we're doing this one at a time, huh?
I guess so.
So did you bring any cards?
No. Although maybe he left the cheat sheet in the desk over here. Nope.
Okay.
Oh, hey, not doing anything.
Hello.
It was at this point that each of us showed Daskalos our builds, but I showed you that in the last episode, so I'm just going to skip ahead.
Okay, so that was very nice. I suppose you all want to see each other's builds, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, you didn't think I was going to show you that, did you? Nope, or at least not yet. Instead, I'm going to say that if you want to see Millie or Oda's builds, you can go check them out on their channels.
Okay, so you've seen each other's builds now,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yes.
sure you want to see the original.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
Yeah, huh?
Something to keep in mind is that a lot of things you won't actually be able to get right. This isn't really an exercise in how close or how right you can get it. It's more of an exercise of how least wrong you can get it, more than anything else. So there are going to be some things that you're going to see that you would have never have gotten because there was no evidence left of them.
Mhm.
So don't beat yourself up, and it wasn't me setting you up or anything, but there's definitely some stuff that you guys got totally wrong, because there was just no evidence of it.
Right.
Also, there's a few things that one of you, depending on what we're talking about, one of you would get right and the rest would get wrong. And so, yeah, it's kind of interesting. But if you're ready, we're going to teleport there, and it's going to be a big, giant, orange wool box.
Oh, hello.
Oh,
It
site in the
sure is,
desert.
isn't it?
Yep. So there is the orange wool box. Now, I decided to put it in the desert because when I take away this orange box, you're going to see the grass, which is the extent of the site. So it's a really good
Okay.
sort of split between the dirt or the sand and the grass. So that's why I chose the desert to do this.
Mhm.
So if you are ready, I will do this and cue the Willy Wonka music.
Oh.
If you want to see paradise. Oh, sorry.
You'll get demonetized if you continue with that. Okay.
Promise they won't, but anyway. Oh,
Okay.
So
Wow.
let me go ahead and take you on a little tour. Here we have what I'm calling the lower class housing. This is single occupancy housing, bed, little table, with a sort of a thatched roof with the bamboo up top. And of course,
Okay.
it is just the packed mud with some oak supports on the corners. All 6 of these buildings are the exact same,
Okay.
inside and out. They've
nice.
got a little bit of a peaked roof on all of them, as one expects from thatch, with a little bit of overhang, which one expects from thatch. So yeah, that's the lower class housing is what I'm calling it. Now, as we come down here, you will notice that you guys did get the lamps, the street lamps, mostly correct. So that's good.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then through here, you will notice that all of you had some aspect of this block
Yeah.
housing correct. So, like, it's funny because,
So
like,
close.
With
there's-
our powers combined.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. That's why I was thinking. I'm like, man, I should have had you all working on it, because that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
So
we
if you
would've
come
had
in
Harold's
here,
beams.
Nice.
yeah,
The
it
cross beams is
is.
something I missed.
Yep,
That's so
Yep.
good.
it is 4 individual 3-room houses,
Okay.
each with its own, each
True.
with its own sort of workbench and
Mhm.
person, with the exception of one. I don't think
Except
this
for
one
this
has
one
a
didn't
workbench.
have, yeah.
Yep.
We were.
Yep.
Oh, Fisher. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what the
Mhm,
barrel is.
Yeah,
mhm,
Okay.
fisherman. The only one that we
Oh,
were
the
we were
barrel,
missing
yeah.
what was it? A Fletcher.
Yeah.
Fletching tables didn't exist.
See,
but-
it's funny because I interpreted the houses the opposite way. For me, I
Yep.
figured this is where the wealthy people lived in their individual houses, and this was more like apartments, like high density houses.
And
Oh, no.
let me tell you why I decided to have these both as lower class housing. One, it's got the cobblestone foundation, whereas the
Yep.
rest have the
Mhm.
nicer foundations.
Mhm.
It is just the packed mud, no mud brick, just packed mud, and then of course the thatch roofs. That's sort of how I separated them. As we come down this way, we will come into the marketplace, which a lot of you got
Nice.
correct with your assumptions. But go ahead and walk around. You'll see I've got the fisherman has their booth here with all of the barrels for all their fish. I've got the shepherd here with their wool and their dyes and
Yeah.
little
Ah, the
products they
middle
can
was
do with
the
that.
Grates above for
Yep.
grilling meats. Ah, okay.
Yep.
Oh, I
can
got
go
Oh,
the
that
so
way.
I got the
anvil.
cooked
So
meats right.
that's what the
Nice.
iron was. Is the
Iron
anvil.
block was the anvil, but
Okay.
you got the
Oh,
grindstone right.
nice.
Yep.
Yeah, you got the grindstone
Oh,
right.
nice.
Um,
Oh, cooked,
and then,
cooked food, yeah.
Yep,
Oda definitely got
pottery.
the banner thing right. That was just, I mean,
Yeah,
that
Oda
you
got the
would have
meats
never
right.
known. You would have
The
never known
bones
the
were-
banners, but yeah.
Yep.
And then of course, yep, Potter here with the pithoi
Okay,
and
so
the
the
little
Fletcher was
flower
in
pots.
here. Okay, cool.
Very cool.
And then an empty stall, just one that
Just
is
an
not
empty one.
occupied.
Just a
Yeah, there was just the one
okay.
charcoal in there where Oda's
Mhm.
standing.
And the charcoal, of course, was the ceiling.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Ah, these were standing up as a support. Ah, come
Yeah.
on.
Yep, they were standing up as a support. This is your stone cutter. This is your mason.
There's there's the tool right here. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
That's nice. I like that. I
But
like all the
a lot of
additional-
you got a couple things wrong, which is this.
Oh, stairs going up.
These were
Yep.
stairs, not okay.
Oh, they were stairs,
Oh,
okay.
it was.
With a
Look
chimney,
at
yeah.
this.
Ah, for second level.
Oh,
Mhm.
and a
This
little
is a
balcony.
chimney.
I
this
like
is a
it.
chimney.
Nice.
This is-
I
like
wondered
that.
if they weren't stairs.
Yep. So yeah, this is your mason. So they've got it's a house and a business in one.
Yep.
So very very Skyrim. So yeah. And then over here we have our leather worker, which you do have the animal stalls
Okay.
Nice.
with the hay bales out front.
Yep.
All of the stuff that they are selling. If you follow me back here, we have the living quarters for the leather worker.
Oh boy! So
Oh,
all these
okay.
buildings were like the workshop and
Yep.
then the house.
That's very
Mhm.
Oh,
common.
and he's got a
Wow.
cauldron above the fires. Okay, and it was open roof
Okay,
fires.
cauldron.
I kept debating on that. I kept going. I could just take out these things and just have it open to the air because that would have been a little bit more old,
Yep.
like ancient. Like I should have done that.
Yep.
I like
And then across the street from that is the toolsmith.
Ooh.
I like your.
So
I like the
your window
front, like-
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the
Mhm.
look of that a lot.
Cool.
Nice.
Smith.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
This
And
out.
Oda, your
Oh,
interpretation of the bricks fallen was yep, it was
Yep.
correct.
And then yep,
Yep.
another
Okay.
second
Yeah.
story.
So these are all just bricks. So the mud here was degraded bricks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Graded bricks.
Yep.
Nice. Okay. I got that
Degraded
right.
bricks.
And then
And
this
also
staircase
some of
was
the
still an upstairs.
Some of the stairs were
Nice.
also degraded mud bricks. So like
Mhm.
it would fall and it would have because if you look at the mud brick stairs, it's like individual bricks, and so that's
Yep.
that's why I did that way. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is sort of the middle class area because it's got the deep slate foundations with the mud brick above it, and it is the buildings are the businesses and the housing all in one. So
That's
this is sort
awesome.
of the middle class here.
So then this is the armor smith.
That's
of
the
course.
armor. Yep, this is the
Yep.
armor. So
Okay,
lots
the
of
It's
part that
armor.
we've been
back here.
dying to see.
Hmm
Okay, yeah, here's
was
the second
upstairs.
floor with the stupid furnace.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not expect this furnace to give you guys so much trouble.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is going to be easy. They're going to realize
Mm-mm.
it's the second floor. Apparently not.
I
Sorry.
mean,
Nope.
I
Well, but
kind
let's
of thought
see.
it might have been, but like I was like, I'm not seeing any other evidence for
One.
that.
1, 2, 3.
But yeah, of course.
Well, but
if the second
the
floor
furnace is up
wood, it
higher
would have been
than-
gone.
In the original, though.
The
isn't
But it
furnace
would have
is up
fallen.
higher.
It
would've
would have fallen
yeah.
though
It'd
because it
fallen,
was
yeah.
a wood floor.
Right,
Mhm.
because
Okay.
as this caved in, some wall pieces landed here,
Yep.
here, and
Yep.
then the furnace
I
came
gotcha,
down.
okay.
on
And then the
top of
furnace
them.
came in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
But yeah, the second story being made out of wood, that makes so much more sense.
Mhm.
That to fit a second
Over
floor in
here
there.
around the side. So these are the only two professions that I had that were not actual Minecraft professions. The rest
Ooh,
are
I
all
like
Minecraft
the
professions.
little gate. This feels very like
Yeah.
a little Hobbit home kind of to me,
Oh,
like a
yeah,
little
it's kinda
little
cute.
low
So-
walls with the gates. I love
Yep,
it.
have their little
The-
individual gardens.
The cartographer is, well, I guess that kind of
the-
is a
yeah, there's a
profession.
cartographer.
It's a
Sure it is.
cartographer. But
Mhm.
this is more, you'll see here in a bit, it's more of an administration thing. So this is their house, along with their little workstation that they can do from home. And same with this one. The librarian, I'm actually calling an archivist instead of a
Nice.
librarian. And you'll see why here in just a second. They're both basically tax collectors
Ah.
Nice. Okay.
because this building is an administration building.
Oh,
Oh,
okay. I was a little different.
So stairs going up to the second story, but
Interesting.
you also
Second
have
story too, and this
a
is what the
first story. Yeah.
top
Oh yeah. So
diorite was.
yep. And if you look when you come up
Yep.
here, here's all the storage for the
Yep.
pithoi that fell down.
Mm-hmm.
So all those
Ooh.
those sherds and everything are from that.
Oh, and then
Mhm.
the stairs would
Seats.
have fallen
Yep.
down
This
below.
is way more
That's
beautiful than
why
anything
Yep.
I would have come across.
these basalt pillars were driving me bonkers.
Yeah, why
and
there's
this
only
makes
two?
so
Why
much
there's
because there was only two.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, this makes
Ah,
so much sense.
That it was a balcony area. That's amazing.
Mhm,
This
mhm.
is so good.
brilliant.
This looks so good.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Okay, that was a roof structure. That's actually built into the roof. Oh, look,
Yep.
the lichen. I kind of got that
Yay.
right-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was the lichen?
I
Oh, yeah,
kind
so
of
it
did
is
it
a
like
border,
a
yeah,
border
like you
around
did
Have
that.
that.
another little administration built like room.
Mhm. So when you
Nice.
come, yeah, if you come down here on the first floor, you've got this is the tax collector. So this is all the
okay.
stuff that they bring in to for him to log
To
in
pay
where
for
it's
the
coming from,
taxes,
right?
Yep.
And the first room is the archivist, who is also keeping all the records. And there's a little
Records of
closet
all
down
the
here.
stuff.
But
little
all of the
bookshelf.
sherds you were finding in here were from that second story because all those sherds were actually on top of this
Yeah.
There's just,
that
Ah.
diorite. Mm-hmm.
let me see. Let me come back up in here.
Interesting.
Oh, look, yeah, it's all stuff being stored up here. Look at this.
Mm-hmm. 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 So you got the stuff down there.
just like you did in your Greek palace, like kind of inset in the floor.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
Yep.
That's so
Mhm.
nice.
Mm-hmm. And then
they were all full of olive oil in that one.
well, yeah, and wine. Yeah. So the windows are really hard to get. I did not
Yeah.
expect any of you to get the windows
Yeah,
correct. And there's really no way to know how
Mhm.
how that is. But yep.
Yeah, you had there was the tiny bit of a clue with the way the walls had fallen into that
Mhm.
other area, and
Mhm.
I kept thinking, I'm like, should I make these windows taller? And that was about it.
What
Yep.
was the coal?
Coal was the torches.
Coal
the
was the
torches, okay.
torches. Interesting.
oh,
okay.
the torches. Okay.
Yep. I
Yeah.
tried to keep it where it was charcoal, was burnt remnants of the roof or burnt organics like the throne here.
Mhm.
Yep.
And the coal itself was torches or fire or like a campfire.
Nice.
Mhm.
So cool.
So then if you come out here, this door leads to the chieftains or the chief's residence. So this is the
Alright.
chief.
Oh, okay.
I was calling them the royals.
So this is like a
Mhm.
little
Yep.
liminal zone here. I
Yep.
like this.
Yep,
It
little
is,
liminal zone. Yep.
okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So the
Yeah,
funny
that's
thing
nice.
is that there's no real furniture in here because I decided that when I was building this, that this was still under construction when whatever happened.
Ah,
So I wanted to see if
fireplace,
any of you
that
would.
makes
Yeah.
Yeah, that
the way
fireplace,
this
that kept
wall was
looking at
the
that
way
going,
this
man.
wall was built had me so confused.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so good.
And then, of course, you've got this in here, which is what you think it is.
Yeah.
Standard Minecraft brewing station,
Uh-huh.
Nice.
complete with water. So,
Oh, so Oda was right about the second story here.
Nice.
yep, Oda
Nice.
was right about the second
And the
story.
floor is the diorite. Nice. Okay,
Mhm.
cool.
Nice. Good job.
Ooh, I like
And then
the-
there's
I
a
like
balcony
it.
here. And I remember somebody mentioning a possible balcony.
I just mentioned it like earlier, like
Oh.
literally like last night I was laying in bed going, that could have been a balcony.
Yep.
First
course-
time the whole time. I hadn't
That's
thought of
so
it until
awesome.
then.
Yeah. And then, of course,
Ah!
the garden is out here, and it is
I
a
love-
walled garden that is not accessible by the common folk. It
Mhm.
is
Wall
all...
garden, 3
Ah.
high. Yep, you had
It
to
was
come
the
in
three
this
high.
door.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And the
Had the
acacia trees. growing in the
Yay,
garden.
we got
Nice.
something right.
Mhm.
We all got the acacia trees. That's awesome.
Yep.
We all got that there was a garden or some place
Mhm,
to grow
mhm.
things, so that was good.
Yeah.
And then what was
Now
this
the
thing on the
floor,
other
the
side?
floor blocks here indicate double doors. That's why I put double doors here. To
Mhm.
see dirt, and then floor,
Yeah.
floor.
See, I did not even find that to know that there was a door there.
Mhm.
See, because I made sure I was like looking up underneath all the stuff
Yeah.
to see like
Every
are there
single
floor
one.
pieces that got covered up, or is this where the
Yep.
wall was?
And then, of course, the meeting place,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
which Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
See, I
Oda
should've
got that
left
one
it.
the
I
closest.
should have left
Oda
it.
really did.
Yeah.
Nice. I did square off these bricks though, just
Mhm.
because
Yep,
only
yep.
some of them were broken. Like I assumed they were just broken, so I
Yeah,
Right.
see, I left those as stairs because I
Yeah.
had a feeling you'd want to go like have an inset, but you guys have
Nice.
that portion right with the seating.
Yep. And then
I
one thing I
debated.
do want to point out is that all of the lampposts on the main road here are stone, but the ones that are off of the main road are wood.
Wood, yep, because we
Mhm.
didn't
Okay.
find
With
any
only
lamppost
torches.
pieces.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Ah.
yeah, and there was one over
Mhm.
here. This actually, because
Yep.
I was like, why is there just one sitting in the middle of
Yep.
nowhere here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So your roads actually do stop here. See, I carried them forward all the
Mhm.
way to the end, like the
Yep.
wide part of the road here.
Yep.
You do have a
Yeah,
stopping
I
point.
started to take it out, and then I'm like, no, I'm adding things that aren't there. So
Yeah, I was interpreting that as like lower class area, middle or upper class area, so they'd have better roads. Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, see, where I was just like everyone lived down there or in the palace, and I figured all of these were just like the workshops and
Mhm.
stuff, not that people actually lived here.
Yep. So yeah, all of you got some things like dead on correct, and a lot of you, got things that were not right. But there was a like there wasn't like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like a definite like, oh, this person got all of this correct and
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Everyone got something correct over someone else.
Mhm.
And I was telling Oda earlier because when I finished up his grading, I was going over the numbers and the scores, the numbers, right? Out of 80 points, the spread is only 3 points across.
Wow.
That's awesome.
A 59.
Could
a
you imagine
60,
if we
and a
had done
62.
one together? Like we would have like really knocked it out
We
of the
would've
park.
killed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Except
Well,
for
if
that
you
building there
chose.
with the second floor. Like we
Yeah.
all kind of
I never
failed
would
on
have
this.
gotten that.
Yeah.
I failed on thinking about verticality. Like that was my.
I don't
It makes
remember there
sense
being
though because
stairs here, though.
because the pillar shows the height being like the
Yeah.
same as the height of this building over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so the roof did come out over the pillars. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And sometimes
Yep.
some things don't make it,
Yeah.
Sometimes things get
Yeah.
stolen, sometimes
Yeah, because there
just-
was no roof material
Mhm.
outside of this wall.
Nope.
There was no roof material where the pillars are.
Yeah, nor
Right.
nor any
Yeah.
overhang. But this,
Mhm.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
this looks better with the
Mhm.
overhang. I kept going back
Yeah.
and forth on that, where I was like, I
Mhm.
want some of this
Yep,
to have
me
an
too.
overhang, but I didn't see
Yeah.
anything out there. So I was like, I can't interpret based on what's not there
Yeah.
or what I want to see.
Yep, exactly.
I'm proud we all found every single bit. Like we found all of the buildings and.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, the extent of excavation, yeah, everybody got that pretty much spot on.
Nice.
Okay, so then if you want to know who the winner was, go ahead and meet me in the admin building.
This is admin, or is this a church?
No church. Nope. This is where the chieftain would have sat or something like that. So
Okay, so this is like his
The-
royal,
the
okay,
royal
so
administrator?
royal,
Yeah.
yeah,
royal administrator.
that's right. That's right. Ooh, and it looks good in shaders too.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bet.
Nice. Okay. Oh, and I can actually see my shadow through that window. That's kind of cool. Okay. So, this was actually quite a surprise. All of you had something that sort of sets yourself up to be, having some sort of advantage over the other. Oda's worked with me on stuff before, so he kind of had an insight to how I thought about things. Harold has been an archaeologist, so he had the archaeological side. And then Millie was coming in completely fresh, so she had no preconceptions of what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone sort of had their own advantages, and then everyone had some disadvantages. Both Millie and Oda are not archaeologists versus Harold's being an archaeologist. However, you all have played the game, and so maybe you thought, oh, this is not going to be like the game, even though I did make a lot of it to be sort of the way it goes. So, it was a 3-point spread. 59 points being the lowest, 60 points being the second highest, and 62 points being the highest.
That's awesome.
And
Wow.
Nice.
that and we're talking about the difference between these is basically one or two very small things that would have set you apart. Now, the way I did the scoring is that I took the maximum amount of points, and everything that I saw that was off, I took 1 point away.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, like, if you had just done one little thing different, maybe that would have put you up. So there's it's crazy how close it was.
Nice.
So I will give you the lowest points first, and then first place, and then that ought to tell you who won. So at the lowest points, at 59 points out of 80, was Oda.
Oh,
Which is surprising, because if you look at the overall settlement from above, it actually looks a lot like this settlement from above.
Mhm.
It was just what it came down to was just a couple of things in the interpretation, really, is all that it was. So you played it safe, and still 59 out of 80 is still an
nice.
excellent score.
Awesome. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But you also had the most accurate meeting room, right? Or that meeting
Yes,
area
that is
was
true.
the
Yeah.
most accurate out of all three of us.
He absolutely nailed the meeting
100%.
room. Which is funny, because the lower class individual housing, Millie absolutely nailed.
Yeah.
And then the marketplace, Harold nailed with that grindstone that nobody else got.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there was some little things here and there that really got him. So at 62 points, barely eking everyone else out, in a weird surprise turn of events, is Millie.
Yeah, go Billy!
So, which is wild, because when you walk through her settlement, it doesn't look like this, but with all the criteria, of course, being layout, materials, footprint, and interpretation. It just ends up that she just kind of squeaks in there at 2
Nice.
points.
That's awesome. Good
2
job,
points
Millie.
above. So,
Woo.
Thank you.
so yeah,
five,
so there we
high
are.
Woo.
So there we have it.
Yeah, as a Minecraft village, I actually think Millie's does look the best. Like from a Minecraft perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think
That's
it's
what I was
great.
going at.
Yep.
However, if I went
totally,
to it-
I
But
totally missed the idea of like each one of those buildings was a Minecraft villager profession living there doing that work. I totally missed that.
I wish
Yeah.
I had remembered the grindstone, and then that would have made so much sense. And then
Yeah. Well, and if I went to this place in the real world as an archaeological site, I would expect to see what Harold had.
Hmm.
So like, yeah. So I looked at it. I was like, oh yeah, this is an archaeological site. All right. So
Yep.
so
Like I love the quaint buildings and everything. And
but I
Mhm.
think I think Harold, you pretty much nailed materials like
oh
100%.
yeah.
Where other people missed it, you nailed materials 100%.
Yeah, I missed the beams. Like just
I
that
like
it
that you
was in
saw
an
the
order
beams.
and
Yep,
yep.
that's brilliant.
Yep. The beams, yeah, that one. Yeah, I was hoping laying those charcoal out in lines would
I
give
didn't
you
I
some
didn't even
hints.
catch that. I just figured it was
Mhm.
just roof material that fell and burned. Like I didn't even
Mhm.
see any pattern.
Now I'm
to
gonna
it.
go look back at my other video of when I like looked at those. I'm like, did it actually look like it? Did it? My problem was I didn't set them exactly in the place they were. I kind of set them over to the side, and that was where
Mm.
I fell. Like I didn't get
Gotcha.
that right. But
Yep.
All right, yeah.
nice.
So
This was a
this
lot
was-
of fun, Daskalos.
yeah,
You
this
like
was
if
great.
you want to challenge us again, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah,
will
man.
keep that in mind.
But together, like I want to do one together because that would
Good,
be
yeah, that would
cool
be
to
an
do, like,
interesting.
a collab thing where we all just have at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah. So for you, whoops, I'm still sitting down. All right. So yeah, so here is your prizes.
Woo, nice.
Don't
Didn't have a bronze medal, did you?
Yeah, no, I
Nice.
don't have bronze, but yeah, don't
Look at
don't
that. That
spend
was
them
the
all in
first
one
time I
place.
picked up a diamond the entire time.
You got an advancement.
That's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, this was a
All
bunch
right.
of fun. I appreciate
good. Yeah, good.
all the work that you put into doing this. With our trophies in hand and all the grades handed out, Daskalos then told us a bit about his thoughts and methodology behind how he conceptualized this site creation. So check that out now.
Oh man.
And let me, here, I'll tell you how I came up with this too. While we're at it,
Yeah.
so my thought process with this was that this is a settlement, and so we need administration to run it.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You need
Governmental
some
thing.
sort of draw to it. So that's this these sort of stalls, these things here, right? But then you also need to have sort of a lower class in any settlement. You always have this weird
Yep.
little hierarchical thing. And so I
Yep.
thought, okay, well, I'm going to need to have middle, high, middle, and low class.
Mhm.
And then so I thought, okay, well, I also need infrastructure, so roads. And so I put this road in here. But I decided that if you're going to have lower class housing, it's going to have a skinny little road with little dirt paths rather than
Yep.
paved roads around. And then as you get
Nice.
into the middle class section, it widens out, and then they have actual like paved areas around the houses.
Yep.
And then the marketplace would be the meeting place for the
Yep,
lower
for
class,
everybody.
but the middle class needed a different meeting place, and so that's what this is for.
Ah.
And then the administration, well, if you have administration, you need to collect taxes and stuff like that. So that's why I have the two tax collectors, the archivist who's archiving what comes in,
Mhm.
and then the tax collector who's physically receiving the items and marking down where they're coming from, hence
Yeah.
the cartography thing.
Yep.
But they can't just live here, so that's why I gave them their houses.
The
But
houses.
their houses are near where they work,
Mm-hmm.
whereas
Yep.
the chief needs their house, and so their house is going to be big and made out of the same stuff as administration building and nearby. And so that's why I did that. And since he's the chief, he gets the walled garden.
And he gets all the private, the fancier
Yep.
balconies and the gardens.
Yep.
And
So that was kind of my thought process going into this.
That's
This is
awesome.
there are
awesome.
things in here I just want to steal now because I just love the way this window design is.
The window
and
in the wall is really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
the ceilings that both Harold and Daslos did with
Mm-hmm.
the trapdoors is just
Oh,
really
yeah.
awesome too. Like
That
Yeah,
is cool.
I like doing those ceilings. Those are cool.
So what
Yeah.
were the oak slabs that were over here?
The barrels.
Okay, those would have been broken down barrels. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Barrels. Hmm.
See, I interpreted that as they were making and selling a lot of oak slabs, so that's probably what they used for the roofs
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
yeah,
I
that was
decided
my
to
thought too.
I
did-
decided to break some things down into their parts that you need
to their
to
component
have
parts.
to make it. And
That's
so
true
that's why.
because that's a crafting. Oh, it's the crafting
Yeah,
recipe.
that's the crafting recipe. Mhm.
Mm,
Yep.
Brilliant.
And then and this one too. Nobody got this one with the bees because they're the candles.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And the glass would have
he's
been
got
for
a beehive in here.
Yep. And the glass would have been for the bottle. For it.
Oh, the
is
glass
that what it
pane
was?
would have been for the
Oh,
pot
yeah.
with the
Did
honey
not get
out.
that one at
Yep.
all.
Nope.
Yep.
I thought they were
Nope.
selling glass panes or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
and
thinking this was like where everybody came to sell all of the wares and
Mhm.
hmm I mean, this
build
is
everything, which is, but also
Mm-hmm.
like not. I didn't think deep enough into all of these, which now I'm like kind of regretting. Like,
Yeah,
I
now
could
like
have
the
set these
stone
stalls up so
slab,
much
the
cuter.
iron block, that they're actual crafting recipe
Yep,
pieces.
yep.
That's so cool.
So were you
So,
thinking that we would make the leap to like fill out because you filled out every type of brick that we would then
That is
potentially
true, look,
populate
all
in
the-
every
all the
type of
different-
quartz
Well,
or
that's
every...
what's
I-
said, that there's things that we wouldn't have learned.
Right.
Like, there's
Right,
no
so-
clues for. So
Yep.
I put a few of them in here as sort of like this is what was here, but I did not expect you to fill it out. Like I didn't knock off points if you didn't put in
Right.
Yeah.
exactly
all the different
this, right?
kinds,
Yeah. So I didn't hold that high of a standard for it, but I did put some of those in here, and I put some of them in as whole blocks and some of them in as smaller blocks in the
Mhm.
suspicious gravel,
Mhm.
just to let just to sort of like say, hey, this is what's here.
Right.
But I was not expecting you to put in
Yeah.
the whole
wanting
stack.
us to be archaeologists, not mind readers.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
also thought
Yeah, I
that
still love
this
these
block
houses.
here, this chiseled deep slate, was interesting in the wall because this is the
Mhm.
only place that this
Mhm.
is in the whole
Mhm.
site, and it makes sense to be in a mason's place as like a
Yep.
show off, right? But
Yes.
it's, like I was like, oh, I'm like, oh, if it was a mason, maybe they'd be selling it and it'd be decorated like this, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not part of the wall structure, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah.
Trying to,
I like
and
this.
then some of this stuff where it's like the little eave, you know?
hmm Yeah, and like I said, you would have
I like
never
this.
gotten any of this. This
No.
is
Mm-mm.
something that didn't survive, and
Yep.
yeah, this would be pure luck getting this if you got this correct like this, or you found this big orange chunk of wool in the middle of a desert, and came out to investigate,
So this does make sense. Like, why would this whole part be just cut out of here? Does make sense that there was some
Mhm.
kind of cover here.
Right. I figured there was
Yep.
something there. That's why I put the wagon there. I was
Yep.
just like,
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You sure did,
Yeah.
didn't you?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how some of you took
Mhm.
like little clues like that and did different things with it. So yeah, the first time I saw the cart, I was like, oh, that's clever. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wish I had figured out the second floor. That was the one thing that just kept bugging me.
Yeah.
I
Part
got
of me-
everyone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
part of me
obviously.
was thinking that was definitely one way you can interpret that furnace, but I'm like, but what material would it have been? It wouldn't have just been more
Well,
brick because that wouldn't
yeah.
support anything.
Mhm.
well,
Wasn't
what's
even
weird is
thinking it
like
would have been
this is
wooden
this is
floors.
the
Yep,
only site
wood.
that I put stairs leading up to the upper floor, but I didn't
Yeah.
connect. I just had it going
Yep.
to the roof.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, oh man.
It's like he's so close.
He's so close.
Yeah.
In fact, had you put a second floor on there, you would have gotten the layout
Yeah.
for this correct.
Nice.
So yeah, little things like that. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, I shied away from the second stories really because I didn't think that I was finding enough mud brick or packed mud.
Yeah, that's kind of
Mhm.
what I was looking at
Mhm.
too.
Like the volume of material I was finding I didn't think was justifying additional walls, you know?
The one
Yeah.
the one thing I will say with that is that I tried to make the volume of mud brick coming out of this building versus the ones with the second story to be different. So the
Interesting.
amount of mud
Mm.
brick you would find in this building, since it collapsed inwards on itself, was about the same as the first story of this one in any
Ah.
given spot, and then the back had more.
Uh-huh.
Usually had more. And same with that other side. Same with this
Yeah.
second story over
That's
here is that
smart.
it
Fun.
usually had more, but
Mhm.
just a little bit more, not a lot.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
was a really intriguing mental exercise.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah.
definitely was.
Well, I hope you liked watching this Minecraft Archaeology Challenge miniseries. I want to thank Daskalos for the idea and setting all this up, as well as the invitation to participate. But I also want to thank Oda and Millie for being such great competitors and collaborators. Lastly, I want to thank you all for watching and all your support and engagement through this miniseries. I had a bunch of fun, and I hope you all did too. Now, I know at the beginning I said that this was finale, and, well, it is, but I had to leave so much stuff on the cutting room floor that I thought it might be fun to make a movie-style version of this miniseries where I include some of the additional stuff that I had to cut out for just time's sake, like me visiting Oda and Millie's builds and seeing it for the first time, and other stuff like that. I think you're going to enjoy it, so I'm putting that together. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day. See you in the next episode. Bye.